Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Okay, here we go again, talking about the weather. Right now it's kind of important. To me anyway. Okay, minus 13.8 Celsius. That's more normal for this time of year in Winnipeg. Yeah, yesterday's plus 6 or whatever I saw on that thermometer for a while there in the afternoon. That was most unusual. All the snow on my car basically melted. I went outside and I shoved it off. It just slid off the hood. It was kind of nice. Unfortunately, the weather office is saying blizzard is coming. And it's supposed to hit about the time that my grandkids' Christmas school program is on that I had wanted to go to. I got a feeling they're going to cancel that. If they're smart, they will, because there's going to be people like me that are going to want to try and go, and they're not driving Subaru Foresters with oversized winter studded tires like I got. No, they're going to have the miserable little front wheel drive cars, and they're going to be getting stuck like crazy. And it's supposed to be freezing rain, maybe possibility. But anyway, now they're saying 100% for sure it's coming. So I imagine tomorrow morning at this time, if the electricity is still on, well, my camera will run on battery, so at least I can, record something and post it later once the electricity comes back on. That would be a serious thing here in Winnipeg if the electricity went out for more than, I'm guessing, 2 days. Because what will happen is your house will get colder and colder and colder, and the plumbing will freeze. And you know what happens to water when it freezes? It expands. And it'll be a serious thing. I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm wondering, is there some way I could, if I knew it was going to happen, is there some way I could drain all the water out of my lines? I can't think of how I can get down into the basement. Like, where in the basement would there be a drain tap, I don't think there is one. I think I'd know it by now, because I've done enough messing around in the basement there to... Anyway, maybe it's not going to happen. I'm such a pessimist. Yesterday afternoon, I was a pretty discouraged boy. And I'll tell you why. I had ordered some groceries, and when I got to the end of my online, and when I got to the end there, it goes place order or something like that. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. I thought, what's wrong with this thing? I called the 1-800 helpline. I waited and I listened to machine after machine after machine. I'm not kidding you. About 5 minutes later, somebody, a real person, answered the phone. And that poor person must have been in, I don't know, Malaysia or something. And English was not her first language, and I couldn't speak her language. She was doing her best to try and talk to me. I was doing my best to understand. Finally, I said, "I'm sorry, I can't understand," and I said goodbye. At least I was polite about it. Some people have a tendency to get mad, but I was polite. I didn't hurt her feelings because she was trying so hard. But that's the way it goes. And I don't know why I'm laughing, because I was pretty discouraged yesterday afternoon. Then there was something else that had gone wrong. That expensive medication that I've been taking for my heart, it was supposed to be delivered, and it didn't come. So I waited for about an hour past the time they said I think they said from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. So I waited and till about 3 o'clock, and it still hadn't showed up. So then I phoned the pharmacy. Oh, she says it was picked up and it's probably going to get delivered. Well, I guess with the weather conditions the way they are. So I had that worry. And then there was something else that happened, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, oh yeah, I was having trouble with this thing. I couldn't figure out what to do with this. I have since figured it out. Yeah. Okay. I woke up this morning thinking about it, and one of the viewers made the suggestion, which kind of goes in line with my thinking. And you know what? I should put the macro lens on to show you because it's too hard to describe it twice. I think I'm going to get that little ladder on there today, and that little railing. I've got an idea. It may not work, but it's going to be fun trying. Okay, we are still in step 27, and I got a feeling we're going to be there for a couple of days. Yesterday we forgot to do this. All right, we are ready for you know who. All right. I was out this morning on the patio, and I went out there with some salt, and I thought it's probably a little bit icy. But you know, right now the cement is bare. I mean, I could ride my motorcycle on it, at least in that one little spot. There's no ice or anything. So now where was I going with this? Yeah, right now I'm looking at the at my monitor, and you can see my patio, and I can see parts of Maxim's patio or driveway, and the cement is dry. There's no ice on it. Wouldn't it be nice if it could stay like that? Wouldn't it be nice if the blizzard, if we were somehow, Winnipeg was in the eye of the hurricane or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Yeah, and nothing happened here, and it just happened all around us. Not going to happen. Okay, I am running off at the mouth something fierce here. I mean, what is in that coffee? Okay, let's recompose here, and I'll show you my idea that I think will work. It'll be involving holder downers and all that kind of stuff. So let's get at her, and we're going to have some fun here today if the power stays on. Okay, right now the ladder is in exactly the right place, I think. It's just not soldered down. And here's what I had been thinking, and that was I'm going to use my hobby knife here as a pointer. And where the ladder touches, I was going to tin that area of the boom, okay, and then so I tin it right here, and I tin it right there. In other words, put a little solder on it, and then put some flux on the ladder, so that when I apply the heat, the little blob of glue or tinning is going to run up into onto the connections of the ladder, and I think that would work. I would have, I guess maybe tinning is the wrong word, because tinning generally it's very, very thin. But if I was to get it, like even if it was as heavy as it is, like right here, okay, I think it would probably wick its way up onto the connections where the ladder is sitting on the boom. Okay, then I was thinking of doing the same sort of thing and using a holder downer to get our railing in place. But one of the viewers made the suggestion, why don't you put a little blob of solder on the ends? At least I think that's what he was trying to tell me, of the stanchion, okay, where the stanchion touches onto the boom, and then do it that way, and then put a little bit of flux on the boom. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to do this here. It's going to be really difficult to get that soldering gun in here, because it's even though it is a very fine tip gun compared with an ordinary soldering gun or iron, it's not like what a jeweler would use or something like that. And I don't want to go to a lot of expense. I think I can probably get this to work here. Okay, why don't I quit talking about it and get at it here? Yeah, I think the first thing to do would be to see if we can solder the ends. So I'm going to just put some solder there and some solder down there on the boom, and yeah, we'll move in a little closer. You'll just be able to see the area in question. You won't be able to see the whole thing, but you don't need to. We want to get in as close as we possibly can without using the super macro, which to me is an exercise in frustration. Okay, now I've got this thing adjusted right, so let's not bend these little very delicate things. It looks like maybe this one tube on my right, your left, should be bent out just a little bit. Well, we'll worry about that later. Okay, just leave it there. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get thicken the solder right here, and have a blob of solder down here, and then all the way along here. Let's see, now where are no use having solder where it's not needed. Okay, so there's going to be one there. It looks like all the connections except this one right here are going to have a stanchion. Okay, let's get a holder downer involved here to hold this down so that I can, or would it be possible to hold this somehow in the helping hands without crushing it? That's the problem. The alligator clips on the helping hands are so strong that they would have a tendency to crush the photo etch on me. Probably about 5 minutes ago, my phone rang. Not even. It was my son. He was kind of letting me know, that if I needed groceries or anything like that, he was going to pick some up for me, which is very nice. I told him I finally got my website going. Like he knew that I was having a problem with my order online, but I told him I'm probably going to need help to get myself shoveled out in a couple of days, so he might be coming over to do that. Okay, so here's my thinking. If I take these flat tweezers here and shove them up in here like this, and grab hold of this and put a clamp right here where my fingers are, I can probably hold it like this. Maybe this could go a little further yet. Probably getting my hands in your way, aren't I? I got to be careful here that I don't, when I let this go, that it doesn't bend there. Something like that. There, that should be good. Right now, if I could hold this whole thing in the helping hands, then I can put quite a bit of force on the end. And yeah, okay. I can't talk and work at the same time. Okay. Now, if you remember, we're going to be putting well, that's a little bit more than I wanted. Let's see if I can get rid of some of that. There, that should be good enough. Now right here, there is no stanchion from the railing, but there is here. Every other one of these has, I believe. And down here at the end, not only is there a stanchion for the railing, but there's also the legs for the ladder, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's move this out of the way here now. That might be a little bit more than we need, but I think that what's going to happen is that once I start welding these pieces down, now the railing is going to be just slightly off to the towards you. Why is this not coming off now? There we go. Okay, now here comes the, you might say, iffy part. Getting a little bit of a flux on the end there. And we'll try and get a little bit on the other end. And hope that the solder doesn't wick its way all the way up. And fill in the rungs. Okay, I'm pretty sure I got it. Let's get this out of the way here. Okay, I'm looking straight down on it now, and I can see that this one has to go a little closer to you by about 1 millimeter or less. That's pretty good. Same thing with this one to get it centered. Okay, now if I can just touch this now with and have it liquefy and run up the, it'll be really strong if it makes a connection. Way stronger than CA glue. Probably 100 times stronger. Okay. Now what we want to do here now is involve the holder downer just so that the ladder doesn't move, and it will sort of there like that. Alright, let's get our soldering iron heated up. Okay, the plan now is to just use the solder that's already there. There's no fresh solder on the tip of the soldering iron. Okay, hopefully the flux that was on those little tiny legs that are down there has allowed the solder to work its way up. And I did not fill in the rungs. Okay, now this has to go I'm looking straight down on it now, and I can see the ladder is not quite centered. There it is now. Okay, hopefully we're going to have the same sort of thing happen on this end. Although there is no solder right here on this far I guess you call it a stanchion of the ladder. I might have to maybe, well, let's see what happens. It could be that this solder will flow back this way. I'll reposition here. Okay. Unfortunately, this far post is kind of blocked by the one that's in front of it, isn't it? You can't really see it. I'm looking straight down and I can actually probably see, for once, I can see better than you can. However, I can see that the both little stanchions are soldered in place. Unfortunately, it almost appears like this one is moved. Let's see if I can just move it back. Well, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. Now our ladder, maybe we should try and bend it up just a little bit here. I don't want to pull too hard or I'll break something, but I don't want the ladder to get stuck down into the blobs of yeah, I think there's clearance there. Maybe what I should do is take and put a little piece of paper underneath there somewhere like sort of like this to hold it up while I'm soldering the railing in place. So that's going to be the next thing now. And that's going to actually be a lot harder than what we just did, because we got to somehow get the railing on here and then hold the railing from falling over with at least one holder downer. At least that's the plan. But we got our ladder in place pretty much the way I wanted it. And I know that the, like especially this one right here, that's a real blob of solder, but once we heat that up, it's going to level out a little bit. Hopefully all of them will level out just a little bit. Now I may have a problem down here, in that my ladder is going to come loose when I try to glue the railing in place. Same thing up here. We'll think of something. Maybe I could use could I involve a heat sink somehow?
Hiya, Ron.
Hello.
Oh, so blizzard coming.
Yes, a blizzard is coming.
Foot of snow, 50-mile-an-hour winds out of the north, minus 36 for a wind chill. That'd be the same pretty much in Fahrenheit or Celsius. Good old-fashioned Manitoba blizzard.
My son Phil phoned this morning, see if he needed to pick up any groceries for me, and I told him I just put in a big order, and he probably is going to come by on Friday and dig me out.
It's supposed to clear off on Thursday night, and more snow on Friday.
More snow Friday?
We had Ella scheduled for to be spayed tomorrow morning. I phoned this morning and canceled it. I had to wait online for a while because I think everyone else was doing the same thing, you know?
Yeah, I don't think people should be traveling unless they absolutely have to. It's supposed to be coming between 12 and 1.
Good.
We'll see what happens.
Glad they're coming today and not tomorrow.
That's right. Well, the sunshine is gone.
Yeah, the sunshine is gone. Ain't no sunshine when it's gone.
Bye,
Have a
Missy.
good one.
Bye,
Thanks,
Missy.
everyone. Bye, everyone.
Missy the dog. Missy the dog. Okay. Now, we were going to try and get this railing glued on here or soldered on here. I think we stand a 50% chance of success. I'm willing to gamble at that. Like I said before, we'll have fun trying if it doesn't work. Okay, quite a bit of time has passed here. And this step is going to be, you might say, ticklish. I think before I position this, I should tin each one of the bottom of each one of those stanchions with solder. It'll probably help get things started. Okay, I'm just noticing now the odd flake is just coming down. It has just now started to snow, just lightly, and yet when I checked the radar about 20 minutes ago or less, there was something massive happening right above us. Okay. Yeah, I guess the best thing to do will be to use a little bit of flux on the bottom of each one of those stanchions. I don't know if that's going to be something I can do on camera, or maybe I should leave it for tomorrow now. What time have I got here? Okay, it's 1:40 in the afternoon already. I got quite a bit of time has passed because I had to deal with the groceries that came. And lost a little bit of time over that because I was missing a bag of apples, so I had to, call the store, and they're saying they're going to send another bag out with a driver in probably about 2 hours. Well, in 2 hours I would not want to be on the road just over a bag of apples. I kind of feel bad about that, but on the other hand, they were definitely missing. I think what I'm going to do, especially being as the groceries that I've got to rebag a lot of the bulk stuff, and that's going to take a little bit of time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call today's episode a day, and we'll work at this tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it. I think if I use a holder downer here, it should work out okay. At least that's the plan. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.